With filling in for Malika Andrews, I'm joined by Anscape senior writer David Dennis Jr. and our NBA champ Kendrick Perkins joining us right now. And guys, let's just get right into it. This past weekend, Luka decided to close things off with the Lakers and stay on the villa with his new boo. That is a Love Island reference for everyone who doesn't know. LA inked him to a 3-year, $165 million extension that ties him to Tinseltown through 2028. And that leaves the Lakers with plenty of future flexibility to build the roster around Luka going forward. Here was President of Basketball Operations Rob Pelinka on the moves made by the Lakers this offseason.
We like the upgrades we're able to make to the roster, but by no means are we going to be satisfied. I think every year we're on an infinite cycle to try to improve this team and win championships, and we'll stay committed to that work.
All right, now welcome in our front office insider Bobby Marks and senior writer Tim Bontemps. And you guys put out a great piece on ESPN.com on what's next for the Lakers after Luka's extension. So, Tim, I want to start with you. Now that they have clarity on Luka's future, what are the Lakers looking forward to right now?
Well, as Rob Pelinka just said in that clip there, I mean, the goal for the Lakers every year is to try to win a title. And last year, they obviously lost in the first round in 5 games to the Minnesota Timberwolves, who went on to lose in 5 games in the Western Conference Finals to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who went on to win the title. So to get to be a championship team, the Lakers have a lot of work to do. Now, if you want to look at how are you going to build around Luka Doncic, go look at what Dallas did, right? You had a bunch of big two-way wings, some rim-running centers with him. That is a formula that's led to a lot of wins for Luka Doncic in the past. However, every team in the league is looking for two-way big wings that can shoot. So getting them with limited draft picks going forward and salary cap space going forward is going to be a problem. We obviously have the LeBron James question that's hanging over the Lakers. We'll see what happens with him over the next year. He could obviously be an unrestricted free agent next summer. And another fascinating unrestricted free agent next summer is Austin Reeves, who's on a below-market contract right now that the Lakers cannot extend him on. People I talked to around the league for this story thought he'd be making $30 million or more next year. That's a huge raise from where he's at now. And if you pay Austin Reeves that kind of number, you're signing him up to be the Jaylen Brunson or the Kyrie Irving alongside Luka Doncic going forward, which is a big question the Lakers are going to have to answer. Is he the right guy to pair with Luka Doncic going forward? So a lot of questions for this roster, one that obviously has some work to do to get where they want to go. And Rob Pelinka has his hands full trying to get this Lakers roster to a championship caliber level in a Western Conference led by the Thunder and the Rockets and all these other contenders up and down the lineup.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the Reeves situation also. But what everyone wants to know is what's next for LeBron James. Perk, I see you right there. Would you got something for me?
I do, because yes, Luka signed the extension, right, and he's going to be there for a while. But he also expressed that he wants to win the championship with the Lakers organization, and the key word that he put in there is that he wants to win now. So I'm going to talk about the now. And when you talk about this Laker team, their biggest issue last year and why they had a first-round exit is, one, guys were playing out of position. So you had a LeBron James playing in the center. They addressed that issue with a young DeAndre Ayton, who showed us when he's competing and playing for something under the right leadership, he could help be a center that go to the NBA Finals. He done it with the Suns. 2, can Austin Reeves be a third option offensive player on the championship contender? Absolutely he can. When you look at his numbers that he put up last year, 20 points, almost 6 assists, 4.5 rebounds, it was damn near similar to Ja Morant. And so when you think about Austin Reeves and what he could do, and then they address the position of the perimeter defender, but perimeter defense, and add Marcus Smart, because we saw what Anthony Edwards did to them last year in the first round. The Lakers are right in the thick of things. And last but not least, they're finally going into training camp healthy. Jared Vanderbilt, healthy. Right, Gabe Vincent, healthy. Under J.J. Redick in his second year of coaching with a hell of a coaching staff, the Lakers are a legit title contender right now. I'm not picking them, but they definitely are a real title contender.
And Perk, those are all valid points right there. Let's switch back to LeBron James. Everybody wants to know what the future of LeBron James is with this Lakers team. So, Bobby, what are the options here for LeBron with 1 year left on his contract?
I mean, this is an unprecedented situation here, and I'll kind of set the stage for you. Here we have a 40-year-old LeBron James who continues to play at an all-NBA level, and the only thing that's guaranteed is that he's going to be an unrestricted free agent next year, and that's because he opted into that contract here. I think when you look at it from the Lakers' perspective, it's ironic. They're a team that's going to have $50 million in cap space next offseason, but guess what? The two best free agents out there are LeBron James and certainly Austin Reeves here. So it's certainly going to be a situation that we continue to monitor as this situation goes throughout the year. I think the big question for me is what happens if this Lakers team struggles during the course of this year, and if they fall out of the top 6 of the Western Conference. Would they ever entertain moving off LeBron James? It does become complicated, certainly from a trade shooter standpoint, but I think we know for one thing, when LeBron James does become a free agent next offseason, there's going to be a line of teams out there willing to sign him if he wants to continue playing basketball.
Yeah, a lot of different X factors with this Lakers team. But David, I want to ask you, what chances do you give the Lakers, as they're constructed right now, to win a championship with Luka?
Unlike what Perk said, I don't think they're going to win a championship this year. I don't see them as contenders this year. I mean, you can talk about all the things they've added. You can talk about the Aiden. You can talk about the Marcus Smart. They still got bounced in 5 games pretty handily by Minnesota Timberwolves team that's not better than OKC, that's not better than Houston, that's not better than Denver. I don't see the Lakers entering into the top 4 with what they have. You can talk about Reeves and Luka and LeBron. Somebody's got to play defense back there. And Luka can, looks great and all that stuff, but that doesn't mean anything in terms of how he's going to look defensively. There's a lot of stuff I need to see from this Lakers team to believe they're contenders this year. I just don't see it. Now, going forward, Bobby brings up a good point. The way that you build teams for the Lakers traditionally has been pretty simple. You get a star, Kobe, Shaq, even Magic, or LeBron, you get one of those guys, they come to the team, and then you build around them, you get your stars later. You get an Anthony Davis, you get a Pau Gasol, you get a Metta World Peace, you get that. The NBA doesn't work like that anymore. You have your big star in Luka, but who are you going to build around him after LeBron James is gone? Because we're assuming that after this year he may be gone, but definitely in a couple years LeBron will not be there. So now you have to build a roster around Luka that is going to compete with an OKC, and it's a lot more difficult to do now than it has been traditionally for the Lakers. I just do not see a lockdown championship for them in the next 3 years.
Yeah, Perk, I see you giving the meme mug. I know you want to say
something. What I do this time, Perk? What I do this time, Perk?
Because I'm asking, go and get a former #1 pick who's just knocking at the door of his prime, and DeAndre Ayton is not adding a piece that values that fits around Luka, a guy that could be a lob threat, a guy that could be a pick and pop guy, a rim runner that they need. Go and get a Marcus Smart, who I believe is 31 years of age, adding him to the roster, a defensive guy that Luka actually made phone calls to because he wanted him on the roster and know what Marcus Smart brings to the table, is not building and going in the direction of adding pieces. That is adding pieces. That they did an exceptional job, especially at the number that they got those 2 guys in.
Yeah, I feel like we can go on and on about this, but Bontemps, I want to get you in here as well before we wrap things up. What are your thoughts on the Lakers and that championship window?
I mean, the championship window probably starts after this season, and with the runway that the Lakers have been given by Luka Doncic, with him signing this 3-year extension to give them the opportunity to be patient and build this team out around him. But as Bobby laid out, the challenges in doing that are that it is not going to be as simple as, let's have a bunch of cap space next summer, let's sign the best players available and build a super team. That's not really an option. Guys are extending now, and as Bobby said, the 2 best free agents next summer might be LeBron James and Austin Reeves. And for a team that's only got a couple of first-round picks to trade and has a lot of holes to fill, we will see if they're going to be good enough. And one thing about this year's team, one thing to watch, there's 7 or 8 guys that are playing for contracts on this team, including Austin Reeves, including LeBron James, including Marcus Smart, including DeAndre Ayton. That is going to be an interesting dynamic for J.J. Redick to monitor in his second year with the Lakers and to see how he can balance all that out. It's going to be a fascinating season as always in L.A., and we'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, y'all. I got to see it to believe it. I'm with you, David. I really don't think that it's a championship year. I think it's maybe like a year or 2 away. But, I mean, they have the right pieces right now. Sorry, Perk. I see you. In the NBA. Well, all these moves may be hard to stomach for Celtics fans, I'll tell you that. But Bobby Marks, how can these changes that Boston has made maybe help them find success down the road?
Yeah, this is the ultimate reset here, and I kind of equate it back to 2023. I know the situation is a little bit different, and Jason Tatum is out for this year, but that's the offseason when they went out and got Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday here, but they were coming off a conference finals as far as when they went out and made those moves here. And I think if you're Boston, I think the goal is to remain competitive this year, but also try to grab one of those top lottery positions, almost similar to what Dallas went through a year ago here. Because you remember, you've got Jason Tatum, you've got Jaylen Brown, and you've got Derek White all under contract, 3 players that are set to make $130 million next year. So it's a reset for this year, but it's also an eye on how you can add talent around them, similar to how they added Porzingis and Holiday 2 years ago.
So with no Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown is going to get more and more reps with the A1. And Perk, we've watched plenty of games of the Celtics. What does this gap year mean for Jaylen Brown?
I mean, it means that he can enter the conversation and we can start talking about him when you talk about a Jason Tatum, a Ja Morant, and show that he can be a number 1 option. I believe this is a moment for JB to go out there and show that he could be a 20 point per game score, 28 point per game score to 30 point per game score. And I believe he's ready for the mission. We know vocally he's a leader, but go out there this season in the full 82 games and display it on the floor. Also, look, I wouldn't just count this Celtic team out and think that they're going to be in the lottery. I believe this team is going to make the playoffs and through the play-in tournament. We have to remember over the last 3 seasons, their home record, which has been the best in the NBA, has been 97-23 over the last. So you take a Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, Joe Mazzulla who feeds off of adversity, and you get this Celtic ball club that's going to be hungry and doubted. They're going to be right there in the thick of things in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, Perk makes some good points right there. But with Jaylen Brown on the floor, David, all eyes are going to be on him offensively. What do you expect to see from him in this gap year?
Yeah, I think this can be a real star-making year for Jaylen Brown. We talk about in the way similar to a few years ago, if you recall, with the Pacers, with Paul George, when Danny Granger went out, Paul George really made that leap to be a star. We even go back further than that. Tracy McGrady with the Magic, Grant Hill was out, and he became a star. Jaylen Brown, of course, we already know is a Finals MVP, but he's always been seen as the second guy to a Jason Tatum. I think success for the Celtics in terms of Jaylen Brown is concerned is you come at the end of this season and you look at a guy, as Perk said, who puts up 28 points, who shows a ton of leadership, and does actually get this team in that play-in. And you can say we have a 1 and a 1A because Jaylen Brown has made a true ascension to that next level by being the guy with Boston. I think that can be a net positive for them.
Yeah, there's plenty of room for Jaylen Brown to really show the rest of the league who he is. And the one thing that stands out to me, though, is even though that this is going to be labeled as a quote-unquote gap year for the Celtics, the East is still wide open, as you can see right there. So, Perk, if Cleveland and New York are shoe-ins for the top 2 seeds, who do you think is the 3rd best team in the East?
It's the Atlanta Hawks, the team that, stay getting disrespected, or should I say the superstar type player that gets disrespected in Trae Young. I'm looking at the pieces that they added around him. He already had elite wing defenders, but you go get Alexander Walker in free agency from Minnesota. You pick up Kristaps Porzingis, who I believe is going to complement Trae Young well, especially in the pick and roll. Jalen Johnson is going to be back. We forget, before Jalen Johnson got injured, one could argue that he was in the conversation of possibly getting a nod of being in the All-Star game, like being a first-time All-Star. So when I look at this Hawks team that is coached by Quinn Snyder, I'm looking at them to make some real noise and be a real threat in the Eastern Conference this year.
I do like the Hawks. I think they have Pacers potential in terms of a team that can get hot come playoff time. There's a clear top 4 in the East with Cavs, Knicks, Hawks. But for me, the 3rd best team is the Orlando Magic. That team, to me, was derailed by injury. Last year, I thought they were one of the 4 best teams in the East if they could all be healthy. That offense fell off a cliff in part because of those injuries. But Paolo Banchero is the real deal. This is all NBA talent. He's coming off of averaging 29 points against the Boston Celtics in the first round, gave Tatum and Brown all that they can handle. I think adding Desmond Bane to that offense and the defense they already have, if they can get that offense humming, I think they are a clear 3rd team in the East.
Yeah, look, the East is wide open and plenty of storylines. I see Perk doing a little side-by-side right there. There's a lot happening in the East as we go into this season. Bobby, thanks so much for the insight and joining the conversation as well. And we're talking about the East out.
I met her in New York on draft night, and I bump into her, and like literally bumping like straight out of a movie. And we start talking and chatting. And then, you know, as the night progresses, we're having a good time. We're talking, getting to know each other. And I'm like, you know, let's get out of here. Like, let's go get some pizza or something. She's like, okay, let's go. And as soon as I got in the Uber and the loud music and the lights stopped going, I realized, oh, wow, like, I can't go get a pizza. I need to go home. So she ends up taking me to my hotel, and I make a beeline straight to the bathroom. And you guys can put the story together from there. I ended up dying. I'm laying on the floor. Like, it was a good night. I had a great time. But that's how we ended up the first time we met. So Justin ended up getting her number. She's like, I gotta leave. Like, I don't know who this guy is. Like, thanks, but no thanks. I'm like, all right, cool.
Perk, I gotta bring it to you. That's a heck of a story. And I know your draft night story was not like that because you have a lovely wife of, you know, however many years.
Yeah, it wasn't like that, but look, to each his own. But one thing he did realize that since he went to the bathroom and he was dying, and she actually stood there and still embraced him after smelling all that, then she was a keeper.
Look, she said, I'm a stick beside him, okay? Next up, we got Jimmy Butler. He's among the many NBA stars touring China this summer. Now, if Steph and Jimmy are the new Batman and Robin, what does that make Draymond? Jimmy, explain it.
I'm on my way to being great, man. Robin, he gonna Robin the out of this year. Batman gonna do his job. Draymond is Draymond the Batmobile, you know. He like the one that gotta get us where we need to go. He do a little bit of everything. Shoot them things. Somebody shooting at us, he rolling over, protecting us, you know what I'm saying? Who else we got? I don't know. Golden State though, we on the way. We on the way, I'll tell you that.
Look, explain it the only way that Jimmy Butler can explain it. However, David, is this the right analogy, though?
Look, I mean, I know I don't look like it, but I can be kind of a nerd sometimes. And Jimmy Butler just needs to step his Batman lore up right now. There's like 4 Robins. There's Nightwing. There's the Red Hood. There's Azrael. There's so many other Batman characters that you can pull from. You ain't got to go to the Batmobile. Jimmy Butler, we can send you some Batman comic books to help you step it up so you can get some more analogies for more of these players. The Batmobile just isn't going to cut it. You can't call a human being the Batmobile.
I was just about to say you can search for some more characters, but hey, do what you want. Today is the 1-year anniversary of KD becoming the all-time leading scorer for Team USA at the Paris Olympics. As for the upcoming LA Olympics in 2028, check out what our teammate Richard Jefferson said on Road Trippin'.
The U.S. will not win gold in Los Angeles, California. Boom.
I'm sorry, say what?
Hold on now.
What did you say?
Wait. First of all,
Are you just trying to piss people off?
I'm not trying to piss people off. Did you see it took a Herculean effort for us? It took our greatest basketball players for us to beat a team that had one all-star in Serbia and had no all-stars in France.
Look, I'm sorry, what did you say? We're still 3 years away. However, Perk, what kind of chances are you giving Team USA to take gold in 2028?
Amina, you know it makes my damn skin crawl to have to agree with Richard Jefferson, right? And I agree with him. I give him a 50% chance. I'm not going to disrespect them and say that they don't have a shot because we do have some great young athletes on the rise. But I will say this. If I was a betting man, I wouldn't bet my money on that because they're going to be missing a LeBron James. They're going to be missing the all-time leading scorer in the Kevin Durant and the Steph Curry. And Richard was right. It took some all-time great performances for them to come back home this past Olympics with a gold medal. And we look at what KD had to do in 2024, how he had to rise to the occasion and take his game to a different level. So if you ask me, do I have belief and trust that they could get it done in 2028 without a LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant? I don't.
Yeah, David, I think there's so many different factors, and Perk touched on it right there. We don't know who's going to be on that team. Also, I think it lends to the conversation that the rest of the world is catching up with Team USA.
Mm-hmm. Look, I got to agree with Perk and Richard Jefferson here. If I'm having to pick between Team USA and the field, I'm picking the field. For the first time in the history since we've had the Dream Team in 1992, I don't think we're going to have a top 5 player in the Olympics. You got Wemby, you got Luka, you got Jokic, you got SGA, and you got Giannis. So the best players are on other countries, and you add in the fact that our best player, Jason Tatum, probably will be our best player in 2028. he didn't have that great of an experience when he played there in 2024. So you got to think about what that effect has on the team and the, the morale and the want to be on Team USA in 2028. I'm sorry, as much as I would love to cheer for Team USA and want them to win, I find it hard to believe this is going to be an easy path for them to get a gold medal.
Yeah, and I think also the buy-in, too, is really important. I think that with this past Olympics, you had LeBron James have everyone buy in. You don't know if you're going to have that same product come 2028. All right, coming up on NBA.
Oh, there he is, the 300-pound version of Morris Chestnut. And it's time. Anytime it's a big week or NBA week, damn it, it calls for a big list. And today I'm coming with Big Perk's big list of best defenders, top current defensive players. Excuse me, Amina, I know it's your first time. David, you've been here before. I have one rule. You will bring the energy that is needed for this segment. Otherwise, this will be your last time on this segment.
Not threatening me.
Okay?
Hold on.
Coming in at number 5, all right? Put it up there. Bam! That's right. Luka Doncic.
Wow.
Luka Doncic.
Wow.
Straight silverback. The Canadian silverback at that. Defensive tackle, linebacker, whatever you want to call him, a pest. The opponents hate to see him coming because of the physicality. Screeners hate to screen him because they can't. He's going to go through you or he's going to fight over screens. A key reason why the Oklahoma City Thunder won the NBA championship this year, because he addressed the problem of perimeter defense. Coming in at number 4. This is going to ruffle some feathers here, but damn it, it's my list. Bam! Put it up there. Victor Wembanyama, better known as Wemby. Listen, I know the man is the best shot blocker in the game, but I haven't seen him play since February. I also haven't seen him play when the lights are the brightest. Meaning, I need to see him when it matters the most come postseason time. I know in the future he will win a few Defensive Player of the Year awards. But as of right now, he's number 4 on my list. That doesn't mean he can't go up. But as of today, he's number 4. Now, David, I heard you interrupt me. Now is your time to speak. Give me some energy for number 3 and fix your body language. Let me see it.
You getting a timid bam because of that. You getting a bam.
This and guess what? This gonna be your last time. Amen Thompson, who I believe has the possibility to be the best two-way player in the game in the next 2 years. A defensive pest, one of 2 players to go out and get 85 steals and 85 blocks last season. And guess what? Draymond Green had high praise of this young man after having to battle him in a 7-game series last postseason. Okay, coming in at number 2. Amina, where you at, girl? I need your energy right here for this one. Bring it.
I got bam!
Yeah, there we go. Now you getting it. Evan Mobley. The man did win Defensive Player of the Year last year. The man is one of the best shot blockers in the game. The man can do it all when it comes down to what he brings defensively at 7 foot. Forget just blocking shots. He could switch 1 through 5. The Cavs had one of the best defensive teams in the league because of that anchor in Evan Mobley, who haven't scratched the surface of his prime yet. Coming in at number 1, saving the best for last. I don't give a damn what nobody have to say. He showed me why he should be number 1. Put it up there. Bam!
Oh, boy, we flipping tables up in here.
Wait a minute.
Flip the table on yourself. Damn it, the eye test doesn't lie. What I saw, what he did in the postseason, in a crucial game 7, guarding Jokic, who, David, you said is the best player in the world, and locking him up. When you talk about a defensive specialist that could go out there and cause havoc in the game with 4 or 5 steals, was the key reason outside of what SGA and J-Dub bought in Chet Holmgren when you talk about franchise guys on why OKC is going to be raising a banner this upcoming season. Again, Amina, this is not your list. You did an excellent job. You're welcome back. David, you interrupted me. You're not welcome back. But this is Big Perk's big list of top current defensive players.
Look, if you could just see the facial expressions, that would tell the whole story. I want to go back to when you had Wemby at number 4. This was David in studio. He started crumpling up the paper. He started moving around his seat. I mean, David, I understand, though, because Wemby at 4, Perk, you did say, he's like, yeah, he's one of the best defenders, but I'm going to put him at 4 because I need to see him next season?
Wemby played about 25 fewer games than Evan Mobley and had 60 more blocks than the man. He got more blocks than anybody else after playing 40. They are going to name the Defensive Player of the Year award after Victor Wembanyama in about 10 years. He is going to win. If you ain't won the Defensive, everybody out there, Lou Dort, everybody, if you ain't won the Defensive Player of the Year award yet, you ain't getting one for a very long time because Wemby's going to win them all. Alex Caruso may not be the best defender on his own team. Perk, we support. Look, when I come to Houston, we're gonna go get some bun beef burgers and we're gonna hang out. But right now, I'm telling you, your list is crazy. Your list is crazy.
It's called Trill Burgers now.
We're getting Trill Burgers, but this list is crazy.
Hey, hold on, Mr. Historian. Let me give you some history about the NBA. When Marc Gasol won Defensive Player of the Year, he didn't lead in no statistical category. When Kevin Garnett won Defensive Player of the Year, he didn't lead in no statistical category. What I'm explaining to you, yes, being ranked high in certain categories, yes, it matters. Hell, Jokic and SGA was ranked high, was the league leaders in steals last year. But I'm not taking anything away from Victor. I said he could come up on the list. Just as of today, August the 6th, this is my list.
Wow, that was not on my bingo card, having Alex Caruso as the best defender in the NBA right now. But that's what you get when you work with Big Perk. Speaking of Mr. Wembanyama, Kevin Garnett posted this pic of them somewhere. No idea what this could mean, but maybe it could mean something. But David, I'll start with you. What is the next step in the evolution for Wemby on the court?
I mean, defensively, not.
What does this acquisition of Brittany Sykes mean for the Seattle Storm?
Yeah, Amina, well, the Storm are thinking that, hey, this is a rare opportunity to add an all-star mid-season, and they wanted to take advantage. Sykes is a player, like you said, she's having the best year of her career, and they think that she'll be able to really help them on the offensive end, add a little bit more pop to their offense, giving them one of arguably the most athletic, dynamic, and versatile backcourts in the league. But it's also about what she brings on the defensive end, too. Going up against a Storm backcourt, a Storm perimeter group of defenders that's going to include Sykes and a 4-time all-defensive team pick, as well as Skylar Diggins, Erica Wheeler, Gabby Williams. I mean, that's going to be a really tough thing for opponents to go up against. They're hoping, too, that for her to be able to play alongside other really strong players will maybe unlock an even greater level to her play. So you have to remember, too, the Storm, they're trying to make a push. They're trying to win now. And they haven't won a playoff series since 2022. They're hoping Sykes can help change that.
And now, Alexa, we have something we need you to shed a little bit of light on. Rumors about this video coming out of Seattle and the relationship status of Megan Rapinoe and Sue Bird. Take a look at this right here. I need you to explain what's happening, okay? What's happening in Seattle? You know, we've had the whole Coldplay concert, the situation that's going on. Break this down for me, Alexa.
I know. I mean, seeing this video, I was thinking, is there some trouble in paradise between the most iconic sports couple, right? And not only are we seeing, you know, Sue Bird and Doppler, the mascot, having that kind of canoodling moment and Megan Rapinoe looking caught off guard, but I'm sitting there thinking, you know, Sue Bird has been tied to this franchise since she was drafted in 2002. How long has this been going on for? What has Megan known? But in all seriousness, a really fun, cute moment. I saw a Storm staffer tweet that actually it was Megan and Sue's idea to do this whole little bit. And I really hope we get the full breakdown of how it all came together on A Touch More when their next podcast episode comes
Look,
out.
I absolutely love it. Canoodling, also not a word that I had on my bingo card today, but Alexa Philippou with the latest. Thanks so much. Let's get to some more action in the W. Last night, Kelsey Mitchell faced off against Kelsey Plum. Last night here in L.A., Caitlin Clark sitting out her 5th straight game as the Sparks take on the Fever. There's a look at Kelsey Plum right there. She drives to the basket, going through Lexi Hall, and finishes the layup. Plum with the too small celebration after it also. Jumping to the third, Rakia Jackson driving to the basket, finishes with a left-hand layup through contact. Sparks now go up by 11. And then how about this? Cameron Brink back in action. Come on! Big defensive play. Brink finished with 5 blocks on the night. Next Sparks possession. Jackson nails the jumper right there. And then look at this. Catches it on the wing, nails the 3. Jackson finished with 25 points as the Sparks go on to win 100-91. And Plum Dog was balling last night and made some personal history, notching her first career game with 25 points and 10 assists. Kelsey became the 2nd player in Sparks history to reach the mark in a game, joining Odyssey Sims on the feet. And then how about Alyssa Thomas? She continued her impressive season last night against the Sun. Take a look at the action between these two. There's AT right there. Take it to the first quarter. Alyssa Thomas finds Sachi Sabli cutting to the basket for the layup plus the foul. Mercury now up by 2. Sabli from beyond the arc. The 3 is good. Mercury now up by 20. Jumping to the second. Juwana Bonner to the basket for the layup. Mercury going into the half leading by 16. Sachi Sabli drives to the basket, finishes with the layup. She finished with 23 points in her return to action. Thomas getting the rebound off the miss, takes it coast to coast. She finished with 13 points, 12 assists, and 12 rebounds as the Mercury go on to win 82-66. Alyssa Thomas is a triple-double queen.